Good morning. I didn't write and record anything this week because I've been busy, actually on vacation, but I'm still kind of busy. So I wanted to make another kind of, it's not a lesson video, it's just an information video, I guess, about playing through changes and some approaches that I take personally for playing through the changes, which are first and foremost chord tones, and then I mix in the scale, the major scale, and some pentatonics, and then the other level of that, which I don't do enough of, not consciously, but subconsciously it's there when my ear hears it, is playing modally, and that'll be like the last thing we go over. So I have a loop. I want to play through the loop and play some stuff over it, and hopefully shed some light on how you can play through changes. The loop is just G, C, D. It's basically a 12-bar blues, and then back to C, and then back to G. Okay, so the first part is all chord tones. So G, that's G, right? G, B, D, and then for C, that's C, E, G, and then for D, that's a D, F sharp, A, right? So you could simply just walk right up. So arpeggios and triads are kind of a big deal, right? So that triad there for the G, this one. Same for C. You could even do that. Same for D. You could any part of that chord. Any part of that chord, you could incorporate over that. It's knowing what chord you're on and knowing what your landing spots are, really, for playing chord tones like through the changes. So here's the track. All G. And we're gonna go D. Back to the G. C, pentatonics, okay, I didn't go over the pentatonics. So the pentatonic for G is just going to be those 5 notes without any semitones. So G, A, B, D, E. That's it. Over and over again. So you can do that way, or you can do it here. This G. They'll all sound good, but really you want to land on the G, B, or D if you can, right? So a G there, G there, D there, B there. So just kind of know where you are and try to land on those. And then when it changes, same thing, right? So now that's the C pentatonic scale would be C, C, D, E, G, A, back to C. And you can do the same. try to land on the 1, the 3, or the 5. All right, now pentatonics again. G again. Okay, now the major scale. So similar to the pentatonic scale. But you're just adding in this 4th and the 7th. But only as passing tones. Like, you don't want to hang on those at all. But you could. So real quick, major scale, G, you can use that all over the whole progression, as long as you focus on these parts of the scale, right? So I'll show you real quick. Wrong note. All right. So that's it. So chord tones, pentatonics, and you mix in some of the major scale, pure major scale if you want to, which I like to mainly use those as moving from one spot to another. So I don't like stay in them here, right? It's usually linearly. If I use them up and down the neck, I usually just stay in one position. All right, the most complicated part. So modally, if we're going to play in a mode, we have 3 modes. The Ionian mode, which is straight up major scale, right? G. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Major scale. You can, if you don't know that, you can look it up. Then the 4, which is going to be the Lydian scale, or Lydian mode, which is going to have a sharp 4 in it, right? So it's going to be the same thing, 1, 2, 3, except that sharp 4, 5. So that's what you would play over the 4 chord if you were playing out of the scale. The 5, Mixolydian, has a flat 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Admittedly, in this position here, they don't really sound great, and you don't really get a good taste of what that mode sounds like over top of those. And it's important to, like, those are passing chords too, like when you do the flat 7 or the sharp 4. But once you get further up the neck, they start to sound better. So this would be G Ionian. And then this would be C Lydian. Because of the shared tones. That's in both of them. Mixolydian, the flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which happens to be the 4 of G, right? That's the flat 7 of the 5. So I'll show you what that sounds like, and then maybe we'll do like put it all together at the end and just jam for a little bit. Up here you can play right out of that G. Lots of wrong notes. So that's the modal thing. Ionian, sharp 4, flat 7. And that's really the 3 to 4 ways to practice playing over changes if you don't know how. And it's a great way to come up with melodies for those changes too, shared tones between them, leading tones. It goes pretty deep, but this is a good beginner thing, I guess, to dive in. So I'll just jam for a while, probably make plenty of mistakes, and kind of show, like, in real time, once you kind of get this stuff under your fingers, how your ear kind of guides you to what either you like or what sounds good, or where you can go from there, or what notes you should be hitting, so on and so forth. Every once in a while, you'll hit a wrong one. It'll be obviously wrong. And that's a bit of ear training too, to, like, don't ever hit that particular interval when you're playing over that chord in that key, kind of thing. Well, that's it. Except one thing I didn't touch on, which was part of the feel thing. A lot of times, this would be a good way to practice learning the neck and playing through the changes, is using some of the cage shapes. So I switched to this G shape here when I was playing, which is a relative minor of G. So I have this E minor. And I can play that right out of there. And I could have did this. I could have done this D. Same with the C. All that stuff works too. Well, that's all I have. Happy Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you.